painting portraits now for just over 30 years. Maybe a bit longer than that actually, but that's all I'm going to admit to at the moment. I've painted all over the world, San Francisco, Montmartre, you name it, I've been there. I don't know what your reasons for painting portraits are, or why you should want to paint portraits. I do know what my reasons are. My reasons are as follows. I like people. I see people all over the world in all sorts of different walks of life. Some are rich, some are poor. As far as money is concerned, I very often find the poorer ones are richer in other ways. However, that's only my viewpoint. My reasons won't necessarily be your reasons. Whatever your reasons are, make sure that you explore them fully. Portrait painting has taken me all over the world. It's a journey that I've thoroughly enjoyed for many, many years. You don't have to have a whole load of equipment, just a sketch pad, piece of charcoal, pencil, whatever. I've even finished off paintings or little sketches in pubs. When running out of the materials, I've dipped my finger in the ashtray and used fag ash. Okay? There's no rules, there's no laws as to what you use. The only thing that you want to achieve at the end of it is something that A, satisfies you, and B, if you're being paid, something that satisfies your sitter. Just recently, well, when I say just recently, what I really mean is over about the last 10, 15 years, teaching portrait painting has been very, very much to the fore. I love teaching because I'm convinced that every bit of knowledge that we acquire in life has got to be passed on. If we don't, then I'm afraid we leave the world poorer than when we came into it. And as far as I'm concerned, if in my small way I can leave the world slightly richer, then that's what I would like to do. Right, you lot. I know that there's a portrait painter inside every one of you. And by the end of this video, you're going to know it too. Okay? In the first section, we're going to be looking at the basic proportions of any face, what we might call the generic face. We're going to look at the structure of the eye, followed by the nose, followed by the mouth. Now, once you're familiar with the build-up of the head, we're going to be going into sketching from life, from a Polaroid photograph, and from a rough sketch. The one thing that all these portraits will have in common is that they are all tonal drawings. Now, when I say tonal drawings, what I mean is using 2 or 3 colors, just brown, white, and black maybe. The tonal portrait, the tonal drawing, is the basis of all the portraits that you will ever paint. Later on, we'll be adding the color. But let's learn to walk before we start to run. In the last section of the video, we're going to build from a tonal drawing up into a full color portrait. Now, I don't want you to get worried at this moment in time about color. What we will be doing is using a very limited color palette, one that is very, very easy to maneuver. So what you need to begin with is paper, and the one that I use a great deal is good old-fashioned sugar paper. Don't go out and spend an awful lot of money on very, very expensive papers. Sugar paper's ideal. Good quality pastels, an easel, and lots of enthusiasm. The one thing I do want to stress is that at the end of this video, you will be able to produce a reasonably good portrait, but there's no magic involved. What you need to put into this is lots of hard work, lots of observation, and a fair degree of your own imagination. Now, I will have done my part by showing you some of the basic techniques. They are not written in blood. You can move them around, you can change them as you wish. All I'm saying on the video is that if you follow the basic rules that we've laid down as far as sketching, observation, composition, colour, put all these things together and you too will start to produce the portraits that I know you can produce. Come on, let's get down to it. One of the things you're going to hear me saying time and time and time again, when you're painting portraits, have fun, enjoy it. Right? You're not here to get full of angst and anxiety and all the rest of it. Enjoy what you're doing. In the early stages, it's essential that you do that, because if you start getting bogged down with it, it's going to become boring. Now, when I'm drawing, you see me moving my arm around, swinging it about, the easel's rocking all over the place. Now, I don't know how you draw, but I like to get animated with my drawing. Some people sit, and they very successfully, they sit there and they do very measured drawings on their board, on their lap, hunched over a drawing board. I can't do that. I draw standing up, full on, in the face, okay? Now, that's the way I do it. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm sure that whatever you do, you will succeed if you practice, practice, practice. And that's what all this is about. This isn't about doing fully finished portraits, masterpieces, or what have you. This is about the early stages of portrait painting. Right, now here we go with the proportions. You've heard all about basic proportions in portrait painting. You've heard all about perspective. Well, now you're going to see it. This is a basic map of the human head. Right, so if we assume that this is the top of the head and this is the bottom, okay? Where do you think the eyes come? Well, most people will say about here. Well, in fact, they don't. They come around about halfway between there and there. Now, listen to what I'm saying. Round about halfway, approximately halfway. And approximately halfway between there and there, which is about there, we have the base of the nose, right? And approximately 1/3 and 2/3, we have the division for the mouth. Okay? Now, that is the basic proportions going across the head. Okay, so let's have a look and see what happens when we start to use these proportions. Let's do something that I call putting the sunglasses on.
Okay, these are the eye sockets, right? Not the eyes, the eye sockets. And you'll find that the eye sockets are quite a lot larger than you think they are. Okay, because in fact they have to house something around about the size of a golf ball, and that's the eye. Okay, so now let's get a bit of shadow coming down here. There we are, we're just using this as the side of the nose. But look at that, it's almost a triangular shape, isn't it? Okay, now underneath here, there's your shadow, lovely, right? Nostrils going in there, bring that round. Right, now we'll come into the details of this later. Okay, for the time being, all you're interested in is the proportions. Okay, little channel here, like so. Top lip. Okay, top lip. There, bottom of lip. There, bit of shadow on the top. And lo and behold, we have got a facsimile of a face. There we are. Eye sockets, nose, mouth, chin. Now, let's carry on. The chin. Roughly, those of you that remember Archie Andrews and the ventriloquist dummy, the ventriloquist dummy maker's got it right. Here we are. If you take a line straight down from the side of the mouth, you come to the point where the chin stops being the chin and starts to become the jaw. Okay, so we're going off over there now. At that point, there we are. Don't become slavish to these proportions because they alter, right? But at the moment, we're not concerned with that. We are concerned with creating Mr. Head here. Here he is, right? And we get this going here. There we are. Oh, lovely. Skull. Yeah, remember that from your school days. There's your skull in there. Then we hang the jaw on the bottom there, just like so. Bring that down, and there we are. Okay, we're not out to draw a masterpiece at the moment. None of you will. Okay, just so long as we know what the proportions are. Okay, there we are, that'll do. Got a light bulb there. Okay, we sit the eye on this line here. We'll go into how to draw the eye in a little while, but for the time being, just a blodge there and another blodge there. There we are, that's all we need. Now, when I said earlier on that if we call that the starting point and that the finishing point for the head, what I was talking about was the skull, top of the skull, not the hair. The hair gets added, right? Gets added onto here, okay? So sometimes there's a lot of it, sometimes there isn't, okay? Sometimes there is. So add the hair to this part, all right? Pad out the head there we are, so on and so forth. Just block the hair on. Now, we're not trying to make him good looking or anything at the moment. We're certainly not doing that, I can assure you. But here we are, that's that now then. The shape of the skull there. Now, eyebrow here. Okay, we'll call that the eyebrow, we'll call that the eyebrow. So, top of the ear, level with the eyebrow. Sorry, I've hidden that in the hair there. Bottom of the ear, as a general rule, opposite the base of the nose. Again, top of the ear there, come down at the base of the nose. There we are. So here we have a basic map of the human face. All right? Now, we know that these are the horizontal proportions. Here we go, like so. Those are the horizontal proportions. However, there are vertical proportions. So, as a general rule, now this is only as a general rule, this is all we ever say about these proportions, as a general rule, and I shall keep on saying that throughout the lesson. As a general rule, the corner of the eye starts roughly at the side of the nose there. Okay, right. Now, the center of the eye generally comes under the center of, at the corner of the mouth, right? The corner of the mouth, rather, comes under the center of the eye. Okay, so if that is half, then we need to add a bit there, equal to make the whole. So that is now our eye's width there. That is the measurement that we are going to use for the rest of the vertical proportions. Believe it or not, that measurement there is duplicated across to the side, and you find in general the side of the head, not the hair, the head. Okay, an eye's width in between, roughly there. Okay, so we can move that one in now, come over to there, there we are, and it's bringing this back into proportion. There we are, under there, corner of the mouth, center of the eye again. Oh, right, eye's width, there we are, roughly eye's width all the time, and another eye's width brings you to this side of the head. So the section across here is in fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, straight across there, fifths. And that is the basic proportions for the head. Now, when I say basic proportions, that's precisely what I mean, because you will get people whose noses do not correspond to that measurement. They will be much shorter. You'll get people with eyes much wider in distance across here, right? And so that is going to change. Some people's eyes are closer together than others. Some people's eyes are further apart. Yada, 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 all the way along, okay? So these are only basic proportions. So what we now know is that between top and bottom, the eyes are approximately halfway. The nose, tip of the nose, is approximately halfway between there and there. The mouth then is approximately, the center there, here we are, center there, it should have come down there a little bit, never mind. That's approximately 1/3 and 2/3. Okay, so half, 1/3 and 2/3. And that's that. This is equal amounts of eye spaces, fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so armed with that, we can now start to draw a portrait. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this basic robotic type man and we're going to sit him on a neck and on some shoulders. Okay, right, here we go. It's not a good idea to directly stick the neck in a straight line like this. It looks awful. Right? So one of the things I was taught a long, long time ago is if we take that pipe, think of it as a drain pipe. And what you've done is you've cut a piece out to sit a ball on. Okay, well that's what this is. This is the ball, this is the drain pipe. Now it's very much nicer if you can angle the drain pipe through. So if we take that, we can turn it and we can take it off in this direction. Here we go, like so. That's quite nice. Okay, it's sitting on this nice pipe. There it is. We can now bring the shirt collar, if we want to, across here. Okay, bring that down there. There we go, like so. Now this side, we can bring out like this. I don't expect you to be able to do shirt collars straight away, right? But this is nice, brings down here. Okay, so now our chap isn't quite so boring, okay? We've got a nice little kick into the neck here, look at that. We can put a bit of shadow up there to get rid of, to put in behind that collar there, or inside the collar. There we are, got the collar there. Now we can bring our shoulder across here, right? And then drop this one down here. And he's got a nice relaxed attitude. He's looking at you. He's relaxed. It's so much nicer than sticking the shoulders straight out, like as though he's hanging on a coat hanger. That's the last thing we want. So there we are. This is the neck in at an angle to the head. The shoulder lifted one side like that. And he's quite casual, looking at you like so. Okay? Much, much nicer. And then when you drop a little bit of shadow in down here, you darken off that side there, depending on the angle that the light is coming in, of course, then you're making progress as far as a nice, relaxed drawing is concerned. This is the basic map of Joe Soap, Mr. Ordinary, if you like. But you know, Mr. Ordinary isn't so ordinary after all, because it's the differences between all these proportions that make each individual individual. Now, in my experience, I've never had a pupil come to me yet that came to me to become an ophthalmic surgeon. So I am not going to show you the anatomical structure of the eye. What I'm going to show you is how to paint or draw the eye for portrait painting. Now, there are many, many different types of portrait painting. You can go photographically, you can go as photographic as you like, right? I don't work like that. I can work like that, but I don't. Okay? This is showing you my way of doing things. So first of all, we're going to have an example of how a child sometimes draws an eye. And what we get is this. Okay? And we get this large eyeball like this. Now we only need to put a couple of cross lines there, and we've got an early Christian sign. Ichthus. Okay. Not my way of drawing an eye. Okay. The way I draw an eye is like so. And it's not that complicated. I'm going to start off with the eye socket here. It's never a good idea to start drawing eyes totally divorced from everything else. But what we're going to do is put an eye socket in here. Nice big eye socket. Okay. Right. Now, inner corner of the eye, take a little line up so, like that, and then an arc over there. Okay, so it's not a straightforward like that. It's a little bit of straight line there and then over the top. Okay, now I hope you can see what I'm doing. We're now going to put an eyeball in here, and notice that there's only about 2/3 of the eyeball showing. Okay, it's not this complete eyeball here. It's about 2/3 just hanging under there. Okay, like so. Now, the next thing that we find is we find a pupil stuck right in the middle there. Okay, that's fine, nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, we can make it a little larger, or we could make it a little smaller if we wanted to. However, when we do that over here, we do virtually the same thing, but now comes the enormous difference between the properly drawn eye and this one. Because the observer of this eye, as you can tell from its structure, has observed very little at all. Okay? But one of the things that hardly anybody observes without being told that it's there is the shadow across the eyeball that is cast by the eyelid. And that's what I'm popping in here now. It's almost obliterates the top there, but not quite. You can still see up in there, and sometimes you can see more light than others. So now we're ready to put the eyelid in there, and just underneath the eye here we can pop in a bit of shadow. Okay, just under there. Don't draw the whole of the eye in a line like that. So much nicer if we can just suggest it with a soft shadow coming down there, depending on how deep the eye is, and just tuck that bit under there. There we are. So this area here, this little overhang here, just suggests the shadow that's cast by the eyelashes. Okay, now the eyelashes, we don't need to draw individual eyelashes like this, right? Always remember my wife had some false eyelashes, and I took up a rolled up newspaper one night and struck one, and it was in mortal danger of being deceased. I thought it was a spider. It wasn't. It was an eyelash. So there we are. Now, very important this. Angle of light. I'm going to do this in a dark tone. Okay, here we are. Angle of, oh, let's try that again. Angle of light, there. Okay. Highlight, if we're going to, there. And when I say if we're going to, I mean if there's a highlight there. Now, on that angle, okay, the light, there will be a half light picked up on the other side of the eyeball, there, okay, the other side of the iris, I should say, beg your pardon. Right, now, here we go. Just equalize that if we want to. That's all we need. Now we can drop a little bit of colour in, okay, if we want to. But I'm not going to do too much of that here. I'm just dropping a little tiny bit of colour in there just to show you that it doesn't need an awful lot. Okay, now the way to emphasize all this, dark line over the top of the eye there, and that separates the eyelid from that shadow, right? We can now separate the pupil from that shadow, but the shadow is there, and that's most important. Now, the white of the eye is not white. It is generally a soft grey, all right? Put the soft grey in like so. This colour I'm using is red grey, all right? Again, one of my favourite colours. There we are. Now, if you want to highlight that eye, that white, just a blush of white over there, carry it over onto that right there, and look what a lovely soft wet eye you've got now. You can just add a little bit of white coming around there, not much, right? A little bit there, and there we are. Just a fraction of a highlight on top of the eyelid there. Nothing much down the bottom there. There we are. Right, now that's one eye. The other eye on the other side is the reverse of that. Right? So practice that. Don't go too tight, don't be too precise. You're not trying to be an ophthalmic surgeon. I keep saying that. Practice drawing that and its opposite. Now we'll go on to the nose. Okay, we're going to carry on now with the nose. And again, all we're going to do is we're going to use single shadow forms, right? And when I say single shadow forms, what I mean is that we're going to depict the side of the nose with a shadow. And this is so simple, okay? Here we go, like so. This is the bone down here, coming down here, then it spreads again, like that, for the base of the nose. Now, isn't that simple? Okay, now having done that, we now need to put the nostril in. Now this is where so many people go wrong. what most people will do is this, right? Like so. Doesn't work, okay? Never did, never will. Okay, here we go. A bit of shadow down here. That's all we want. The nose is casting a shadow, okay? It's casting a shadow around the nostril. The nostril is coming around like that. Then the inner part of the nostril is going to sit in there so that it snuggles nicely around that ball of the nose there. Okay, right. This can now come round here, okay, like so. Nice bit of shadow around there, and that is sitting nicely under there. If we've gone a little bit too far over, which we have here, doesn't matter, always pull it out again. You know, I like to make a little mistake now and again because it shows you, the onlooker, that it's easy to do. It's easy to make a little mistake, but look how easy it is to get out of it as well. Okay, so that's not a bad idea, is it? Glad I thought of that, aren't you? Right, so here we go. Now the other side of the nose. Here we go. Again, that's coming round there. Here's your nostril in there. This is one of the few times when you're going to be absolutely allowed to poke your pastel up somebody's nose and get away with it. There we are. Right. Now, we don't need to do too much to this. Nice little bit of dark in the nostril there. Nice little bit of dark in the nostril there. However, what we do need to know, how to draw a ball. So, here we are. Here's the shadow coming round here, right? Coming up the side there, coming up there. It's a little bit darker where it meets the light, right? And there we are, a little bit of that. And now we want a little bit of light underneath here, okay, just under there. It just picks up where the nostrils are. Funnily enough, there is nearly always a little highlight just inside the nostril there, just in there. You wouldn't really expect to find one there, but they appear. Right. Now, we've got that structure on that side. We're going to get this structure on this side. And this side's much softer now. But you've got to have something. You've got to see something, haven't you? Right, so there we are. There's a nice bone structure. And you very often find that that lovely exaggerated bone structure like that appears on people of a Mediterranean culture. Right. There we are. Now, this is one of the most important things here. Nice highlight right on the bone there. Right? Oh, lovely. Drop it off a little bit. Right? When I say drop it off, I mean narrower, slightly narrower. Skip a bit, and then hit that highlight there for all you're worth. Bang! There it is. Okay? Lovely bit of light on there. Beautiful. Bring it round. A bit of light carried around there, not much. There. And here we go with a bit of dark round here. Okay. Now, if you've done the nostril too wide or not wide enough, you know, this is the time to check it all. But there's a basic nose. Not all noses are like that, they're not all the same, and they never will be. However, if you draw a nose on those lines, right, you are not going to go far wrong. Okay, a little bit of structure down there. Don't forget the eye socket here, there we are, and you'll generally find that that folds up there, you get a little line up there. That's it. Oh, that's looking quite nice now, isn't it? Not too bad. Tell you what we'll do, we'll give ourselves a little bit of luxury. Well, little highlight on there. That's right. Now we're going to go straight into the mouth. Ah, this is the one. I cheat, you see, I got a moustache, so people can't see my top lip. And it's actually quite a nice top lip, so I've been told, but I don't know, because I've never seen it from the angle that other people have. And there we are. Now, we've got this little channel here. Well, doesn't matter what it's called. Okay? Doesn't matter what it's called at all. But here we go. It's actually called the frenum, but that doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Mouth. Now, I'm going to draw this first, and I'm going to show you what I'm drawing and why it turns out like it does. Okay, here we go. There's the top lip, and this is the bottom lip. Notice, I've only done a part of it. I've only done the part that is nearest to me. This is the part that we have to treat as a ball again. You see? A ball there, right? And two here. One going that way and the other going that way. There we are. Now, if your light is coming from this direction, still, as we had it before, okay, you've got a valley, a shadow in the valley there. Now you've also got a shadow on the other side, over here. So what we've got in effect is the light coming in here, glancing across the top of the valley, picking up on this side, casting another shadow over there, just like in the mountains. Right, now, obviously, this will now reverse that procedure. Okay, so just to make it easy to understand, we're going to put the light in there, we're going to put another bit of light in there, and we're going to carry another little bit of light over there. Okay, right. You always add a little bit more if you've taken too much out. This is vastly exaggerated, by the way, I hasten to add. Right, now everything reverses. We have a shadow around here. I hope you can all see this. That's lovely. Right, now where that shadow is, underneath that will become the light. There we are. Nice piece of light there. Under here, opposite that light, we'll have a bit of shadow. And I'm sure you can see why this is happening. Okay? Now what's going to happen is we're going to pick up a little bit of light under there, but not too much, not too strong, because the strongest lights we're going to save for the highlight on the bottom lip, the highlights, and you can carry that across there like that. Right, now, when we do the division of the mouth for the lips, or the division of the lips, a little upturn at the side there is nearly always desirable. Gentle, a little bit stronger just there, a little bit stronger just there, over gently, and then a little touch there, just a moo at the side there. Okay, a little bit of shadow underneath there. Beautiful. Now it's starting, you see, everything is beginning to come in, isn't it? Right? So we now want a little bit of shadow around there, because this is being tucked into the face here. Just a bit of shadow around there. Another bit around there. Do you know, I get so excited about all this. I love it. When I see things happening, it's so nice. I can get carried away with all this. In fact, practically every day I sit down and I scribble things, you know, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to carry on scribbling. I think that's lovely. I like this. Do you know, if we carry on here, we can go around there. Oh, look at that now. Do you remember the chin that we saw? Okay, look. If we go from there to there to there, there's your third there, there's your 2/3 there, just to remind you. Okay, now if we put the halfway line through there, between there, we know where the top of the head's coming, don't we? Highly predictable. Okay, so there we are. Head, eyes, nose, mouth. Okay, we know where the chin is. That's lovely. There it is there. Now, this is lovely because we've got an eyebrow here. The dear Lord gave us an eyebrow. Okay, Eyebrows are to prevent the sweat falling into your eyes most of the time. There we are. The ear, as a general rule, and I say this again, as a general rule, will come between the eyebrow, and look what we're doing here. We're drawing a curve just there like that. Okay? Now, that is going over and it's coming round. There we are. And a nice typical ear roll shape is this one. Sounds terribly irreverent to call it an ear roll, doesn't it? But never mind. Don't get too precious with it all. Have fun with it. Play with it. That's it. Don't get precious. This is not meant to be torture. Don't try and get yourself full of angst and anxiety, you know. The passion comes later when you've learnt to draw the basics, right? And that's what this is. Terribly, terribly basic. But intriguing nonetheless. Bit of highlight on the top of the ear there, but not so much as you would have on the forehead there, right? Don't forget the light is coming across, okay? So we strike the light down there, strike the light on there, strike the light on there, bring it down, touch it off on the top of it, strike the light there, and again follow over the chin there. Look at that. It gets lovely. Looks like Alexei's sail, bless him. There we are. And that's one of the exciting things you'll see in everything that you do. You'll look at something and you say, good Lord, that looks like so-and-so. Then you can have some fun with it. Okay? You can put a beard on it, you can put a moustache on it, but providing you stick to those proportions, learn how to draw the nose, the mouth, the chin, the ears. Later on, when you come to draw live portraits, all this will be your stock in trade. It'll be everything that you need to paint a portrait. Right, there are many, many ways to use pastels. You can use them either on their edge, cross-hatching style, or the style that I prefer is the broad stroke, right, broad stroke pastel. This was beautiful stuff. You can put the hair in massive swathes like that. That's lovely, right? Now, I'm running out a little bit of room up there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do that. I brought it down a bit far. I don't mind that, okay? Because what I'm going to show you in a minute is how to get the shine on the hair as well. Now, what we're going to do now is we're just going to use a few broad strokes in the pastel here. I do want to get a little bit of light up there, under there, a little bit of light on there, but we're using the broad stroke of the pastel all the time. Not the point, a nice broad stroke. We can then make these lovely bold statements around the face, okay, like so, right, like that. Lovely bold marks. That's nice. One of the most wonderful tools that you've got at your disposal. It costs you nothing, costs you absolutely nothing. You were born with them, right? Okay, you know what that tool is, or do you? You've got 10 of them. Get them in there. Use them. You can use that, doesn't matter, okay? There's no preferred way of using your fingers. Sometimes I use the whole hand, just the ball of the hand, get it in there, move it around. But what we're going to do here is we're going to blend now. We're going to blend this in. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this. It's all getting too much. Oh, lovely. Dear, dear, dear. Oh, very exciting. And it's at these stages, you know, that you can start to create the most wonderful tonal structures. You can shorten this, you can lengthen that, you can push this around there. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Oh, superb. Bring it round there. Kick it up there. Pull it round there. There we are. Beautiful. Now, when we've done that, let's just add. Oh, we can get rid of that arrow as well. Now, look at that. We're just going to go off into something that I haven't shown you yet, and I'm going to do this very, very quickly. We will come back to it at later times, okay? Shine on the hair. This is something people really want to know about. Here we go. We've got this lovely dark mass, right? Keep your eyes on this because it happens so quickly. We've put a nice piece of light coming down through there. I'm taking no notice of where the light's coming from at the moment. This is purely and simply a demonstration piece. Here we are. Nice bit of top light on it. And now, clean your finger off. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Like that. Beautiful shine on the hair. Now, I'm not saying that that shine is where you want it to be at the moment on this picture, but there it is. Look at that gorgeous shine you've got on that hair. So, we've attacked this, we've looked at it right from the very beginning. We've done an eye, we've done a nose, we've done a mouth, we've done an overall shape. Right? And we've even given you some shine on the hair. We've done a few pastel techniques, not many, but just a few basic ones to get you going. Right? Now, the next thing is that one thing that all artists need in their equipment. Observation. Look, look, look again, and then draw. Art isn't all about standing in front of an easel and putting colour on either a canvas or a piece of paper. It's observing people, looking, especially as a portrait painter, looking at people, looking at somebody and saying, what's his story? Has he got a story? What's her story? Has she got a story? In other words, you can indulge yourself in the age-old pursuit of people watching, something I do all the time. I cannot walk down a street without looking for either a character, an old lady with an interesting face, a young child with an interesting look. Everybody and anybody is a subject for the portrait painter. Please don't get locked into one type. Try them all. Look at these old boys here. They look interesting. There we are, Josh, we're just done now. That's it, there we are.
That's nice, Josh.
Okay.
Augustus, John.
Oh, John Augustus.
Yeah.
That's a gift you rather got it or you haven't. And I could say that month not draw cat.
We've just come up from the harbour, left the gentlemen down there having their cups of tea. What I'm doing now is just using a little bit of smudge technique to get some tonal values around the neck, hard into the top of the shoulder there. That's it. And we can use some nice little free movement down the bottom here. Now, we want a little bit of shadow under there. A little bit of shadow under there. That's nice. And then we can just soften that a little bit. There we are. Pull that round. Not too much. Don't want to do too much. There. And you can see now that this is starting to become a tonal drawing. That's what we're after. And I think that's enough now. Don't worry about the banter from these sitters. They love it really, you know, but they feel that they have to make a laugh and a joke of it because you're in their territory, and it's the sort of thing they do. Okay, so don't worry about that. That's it. I think I can leave that now until I get back to the studio.
Now this is the exciting part. We're going to take that little black and white sketch that we did down on the harbour this morning and turn it into a beautiful brown and white tonal drawing. May use a little bit of black, don't know. It depends on what the painting calls for. Now, he was a wonderful chap. He was very cooperative, and with a cooperative sitter like that, you'd be hard pressed to go wrong. So let's get on with it. So here we go. Right. The thing to remember with this is keep moving. Don't, for heaven's sake, start to get ponderous about it. Move the arm all the time, right? You haven't got to be absolutely accurate, right? So long as we get the feel for this. Okay, that's what we're after. Right, now we remember the drawing here is purely and simply an aid to what we were looking at this morning. Right, so the important thing is keep everything moving. Don't hesitate. Okay, that's the fatal thing in a portrait. Hesitate and you're lost. Right? Keep the arm moving. Don't get bogged down. I always remember when I first started drawing, that was the watch cry. Keep your arm moving, keep your arm moving. And that's what we used to get all the time. Keep your arm moving. That's it, right, okay. Now, let's get this lovely dome of a head here. That's what we're looking for. Hair up there. Don't worry too much about the hair at the moment. Just get everything moving. That's lovely. Okay, nice. Okay, now, everything is treated like a ball. There we are. The nose here, like a ball. Then we got the structure here. Okay. Nice and strong in the eye sockets there. When I say strong, what I mean is tonally strong. That's lovely. Touch in there. Now, lovely touch there. Beautiful. Okay. Now he's got a little bit of a tash here. That's it. So, a little bit gentler. There we are. That's it. Remember to get the hair going the right way. That's very, very important. Okay, now lift that slightly. Lovely. Okay. Now, even though you can't see the mouth for the moustache there,
the mouth line must still follow the basic line of a lip. There we are. Oh, very nice. That's coming on beautifully now. Lovely. It doesn't hurt to get excited, and it doesn't hurt to natter away to yourself 19 to the dozen, because what you're doing basically is reaffirming what you know. Right? Drawing is always a reaffirmation with what you've learnt before. One expression I'm at great odds with is I'm completely self-taught. No one is completely self-taught. We all owe something to every other artist that we've ever observed. Right? One of the things that I remember is watching many an artist in Montmartre and thinking, oh my goodness me, I wish I could do that. Well, from wishing it, we're doing it. And that's so important. If you spend all your time saying, oh, I wish I could do that, I wish I could do that, you'll never do anything. The thing to do is to get started. I don't know where to start, you say. Well, you start at the beginning. That's where you start. But where's the beginning? Wherever you want it to be. Wherever you're comfortable with it. That's the beginning. Now, this, as far as I'm concerned, is coming on quite well. There we are. Nice structure here. Nice weight. That's what we're looking for. Right, now, little reaffirmation there. Underneath the ear, just here. Now, we don't want to see all the hairs in his ear. That's the last thing we want. Now, do you remember he had these sideburns coming down here? There we are. Nice suggestion there. Lovely. Okay. Right. Hairline back over here. Absolutely gorgeous. Right. Now, if we were doing a full colour portrait here, we would be going for a slightly different regime. But we're not. So we're quite happy with all these wonderful tones. That's all we're after, is the tones. And the direction of the eyebrows, the direction of the nose, the direction of the mouth there, and the direction of this rather splendid little beard he's got here. Okay. I don't really know why it is that I like drawing men with beards. Do you think it's something to do with the fact that I might have one? Oh, there we go then. Could well be. Don't know. What we're basing this on now is everything that we've learnt so far. Right? Remember, eyes, halfway down. There we are. We can even put the lines in, look, like this. Right? And just because he's got a beard doesn't mean to say he hasn't got an end to his chin. The end to his chin is going to be there. Right? So here we are, halfway. Right? Now we've got the nose, here, halfway again. Now we've got the mouth, that third and 2/3. Okay, so that's quite interesting, isn't it? Right, that everything, all these proportions that we learned earlier on stand us in such good stead now. Do remember that this top line here is the top of the head, not the hair. That really is important. The next thing that's very important is, do you remember we said don't try and draw an anatomical study of the eye, okay? So long as you've got the eye looking in the right direction, so long as you've got the shape of this man's eye, then that's enough, okay, for this type of portrait. If we were doing a fully fledged oil portrait of the Sultan of Kuwait or something like that, then we'd have to adapt our technique. For this kind of free drawing, this is far more interesting. Right, now that's the brown that we've used. That's very nice. It's coming in now. And sweep that through there. Oh, lovely. Okay. Interesting. Right, now let's use the white. Okay, nice strong tone there. Lovely, beautiful. That's coming in there. Put a little bit of tone in his eyebrows there. That's it. Right, a little bit of tone down on the nose there. Oops, do excuse me. Right, a little bit of tone just there. Nice. And now this is going to make a whole load of difference here. Now, one thing that we don't want to do is get caught in the trap of doing each individual hair. It is not necessary. Drag it over slightly over that mouth tone. There we are. Okay, a little touch of light there. That's nice. And all these little lights that we're putting in now are so, so important. There we are. Now, oh yes, there we are. Beautiful. Now, just enough is that little mark there is just enough to depict the eye there. Just a lovely little tone on top there. Now we get the eyebrow coming up here again. That's it. This one coming down into here now. This one coming up again. There we are. Don't worry about being overly accurate all the time. This isn't about a photographic likeness. This is about freedom. This is about expression. This man has lived many, many years on the sea, right? We want to feel that he's alive, not just, oh, that's nice. You see how you run that into the head? There we are. Now, a little touch of, little tone through here, just to show where that is. Lovely. A bit there. Got to read it. It's got to read nicely. Beautiful. Touch on the top of the ear there. Nothing much. That's enough. So's that. Okay. Now then. Oh, I beg your pardon. Let's find a nice little bit of black just to pull under there, like so. We're going to put a nice touch through there. Just a touch there. Nothing much. I think we've been somewhere around about 10 minutes or so, perhaps. What a lovely little tonal drawing that is. Okay. I think that's quite sufficient now. Let's just drag that down there. Nothing much more, just that. Okay. I think we've got just about everything we want from that now. I really don't see the point in working very much more. If we do, we'll overwork it. And that's exactly what we don't want to do. Right, one of the big problems for people beginning portraiture is thinking that they have to put down every single detail. That's not the intention. At first, we want to get practiced in putting things in the right place. I remember the proportions that we've already been through. Now, what I'd like to show you is just how little I've done on here. It looks a lot, but is in fact very, very little. Let's just look at it. All we've got is a few tones here, a few tones here, a rounded tone here, round here. Nothing more than just a few strokes with the pastel, the brown and the white, the dark and the light. Look at this eye. This eye, if you isolated it, would look nothing like an eye, not at all. However, in the context of the rest of it, it can't be anything else but an eye. And that's the whole reason for suggesting in a portrait. We suggest the eye, we suggest the nose, we suggest the mouth. Right? Everything is suggested. Did you notice on this eyelid here, just a touch, just a touch. That's all we wanted. On the nose here, just this lovely highlight, right there, nice and strong. The moustache, it wasn't necessary to draw every single hair, but just to suggest it. The light on the top of the lip, and now we've got the lower part of the beard here. All this over here doesn't matter. This is what matters. Just look at this nose. There's nothing there really. A little bit of shade down here, a little bit of a ball here. That's all it is, a ball. Little highlight on there, touch of light on there, finished. That's enough. We don't need any more than that. We don't need anatomical studies of the eye. We don't need anatomical studies of the nose. And we certainly don't need anatomical studies of the mouth. It's one of the most rewarding things in the world when you do something like this and you realize just how little you've had to do to achieve so much. Quite frequently you're going to be asked to work from photographs. Now, the reasons you get asked to work from photographs are quite varied. They can range from somebody being too busy to have the time to sit, somebody not wanting to sit at all. Other people want a portrait from a photograph done because it's going to be a surprise. Now, one of the most important things to realise is that if you're going to work from a photograph, it has got to be a photograph that is workable from. So what is a good photo? A good photo to work from is one that almost fills the frame with the head. You don't want too much light and you don't want too much dark. Too much light, all the features are bleached out. Too much dark, well, you can't paint a black cat in a black cellar, can you? You need it not too close. You need it not too far away. It's no good having Auntie Aggie right down the bottom of the garden with a beautiful garden in view, and poor old Auntie Aggie's about the size of a pinhead down the bottom of the garden. In general, wedding photographs are a no-no. Unfortunately, wedding photographs are the ones that you'll be given most frequently. The reason wedding photographs are a no-no in general is that invariably we have the big wedding smile. Not good enough. In the world of portraiture, teeth do not feature very prominently. I have quite prominent teeth, as you will have noticed by now. Now, if I were to paint a portrait of me with my teeth showing like that in a big grin, all you will ever see ever after is teeth on the wall. Okay? It doesn't work as a general rule. Fill the frame with the head as much as you possibly can, or get the people who are supplying the photograph for you to do that for you. The ideal situation is to take your own photographs, and from the method that I recommend for that is a Polaroid. I'm going to be working from this photograph that I took a little while ago. Right? Now, the reason this photograph is a good photograph to work from is notice that the majority of the head fills this frame. There's not a lot between the top of the head and the top of the picture, and there's not a great deal between the base of the chin and the bottom of the picture. Okay, so this is an ideal picture to work from. The exposure's nice. I had a window on this side, I had an open door this way, so the film just acted as a fill-in. As you can see, this is a Polaroid, so the focus and everything is already taken care of. So let's begin. Okay, right. We're going to start off first of all by just bringing in the top structure of the hair, the top shape of the hair. Right, there we are, and we can bring that over there. That's nice. Now this is single line drawing at the moment. You just put a couple of tones in and just check a few lines. There we are, that's fine. Okay, bringing that round there. Now, what we're doing here, this is what you want to know. We're proportioning one thing to another. We're relating one thing to another all the time. Okay, so stand back occasionally, have a little look at it. Now, this is the shape of this hairline. Okay, now we've got the shape of this forehead area here. Okay, so we bring that round there like so. That ducks back there. There we are. That's the hair going back there. Now, it's not necessary to get it absolutely precise at this moment in time. What we're doing is getting things down as quickly as we possibly can. Okay? Very, very quickly. Don't worry about accuracy at the moment. It's the feel of the thing that you want. And if you start to feel the picture, right, in terms of mood, atmosphere, then you're going to be reasonably correct anyway. Right, now here we go. We look at the top of the glasses. Now we don't draw glasses in detail, okay? We just get the angle right here. Okay, that's what we're after, this lovely angle. Now, if we look now at this part of the forehead, right, through to here and round there, this makes an individual shape. Well, now we can look to see where that hair goes. That hair drops down to within, in real life, about ½ an inch or so from the top of the glasses. Okay, that's fine. Now, break it up a little bit. Don't be too precise. That's looking nice. Now, just touch the end of these glasses in like so. Bring it round there. Look to see how much there is between the offside of the face there and the structure of the glasses in the middle here. Look to see that that goes there. There we are. Now then. Yeah, oh, this is coming on beautifully now. Watch your angle. There's the angle there. There's the angle there. Now these angles are following the same angle at the top here. Okay, that's fine. Great. Now, we're not doing a precise drawing of glasses. We're not opticians. We are artists. Hopefully. There we are. Well, that's the intention anyway. Right, now, look again to see where the peak of the hair here, there's just a little peak there. Okay, there. Now, look to see where that peak comes. Drop a straight line down and we find, oh, it's a little, it needs bringing over that way a bit. There we are. So we can drop it down through there. Okay, there we are. That's fine. That's great. So now we're reasonably sure that we've got that shape. Okay, all right. Now, let's get the nose in. Here we go. We've got the bridge of the nose there. There we are. Where we come through, and look to see where the glasses come there, where the ball of the nose starts. Round we go like so. Lovely. This is a nice ball area here. Bring that over. That's it. That's the nostril area, and don't forget to put it over instead of under on this particular angle. That's lovely. We've got the flat bridge of the nose coming down there like so. Right, there we are. Around, lovely. Okay, there we are. And we can fill all the details in later on. Don't get too greedy. Don't try and get too much too soon. Okay. Now we're looking as far as the moustache. Right, there we are. So we've got this lovely moustache over here. Makes a particular shape. Comes out like that, down like that. That's fine. Okay. Bring it forward a little bit to here. Look to see where this side of the moustache interrupts the other side. Here we are, that's nice. And it's paler, this side. Okay, so here we go, we're a little bit paler. That's fine. And we're just scribbling it in there. Okay, we don't want precise lines at the moment. We just want to scribble it in. That's lovely. Now just look for where the base of the cheek is. Just here, the rondelle of the cheek, just by there. That's lovely. That's nice. A little bit of shadow under there, and we can start to delineate. That's beautiful. Don't worry whether the nose is slightly too long at the moment. It doesn't matter. Right? As it happens, I don't think it is, but nevertheless, don't worry about it at the moment. All right, here we go. This is coming down beautifully, just like that. Okay, lovely. Now, just get the bottom of the moustache. The bottom of the moustache in this instance is darker than the top. Observe that. Notice it. This is what portrait painting is all about. It's noticing what is there, okay? Not about trying to get it all at the same time. Just notice what's there and get a feel for the whole thing. Here we go, this is beautiful. Nice tone going through the glasses there. Another tone going through here. Watch the fact that there's a little bit of light reflected in the glasses on the other end there. All right, but we're looking at the bottom lip now. Don't try and draw it anatomically correct. All we want is the shape. That's all we want, just the shape. Look to see where that goes, just there. The return is just on that point. Now, a little bit of extemporization here. Just get this hair going in the right direction. Okay, now look to see when it starts to return. There it goes. But we don't want to worry too much about whether he's got too much beard or not. Reason for that is that chaps like me with a beard, we trim them every now and again, or not, as the case may be. Some of us trim them regularly, some of us don't. But when we do, the beard's a different shape and a different weight to what it was the day before. So, in other words, beards are transient things. They move, they are temporary sometimes, depending on the vagaries of the razor. There we are. Now, here we go. He's coming on quite nicely now. That's it. Now, we need to be looking at the overall shape here. Here we are. This is nice. This is coming around nicely now. That's it. A little bit down there for that cheek area. A little shadow there. We could possibly just take a little bit off of that. Right? These are things you notice as you go along. But notice another thing as well. I am not sticking to just one area of the painting. I am all over the painting. I am looking again and again. I'm observing all the time what is going where. Look to see how much of the glass is at the top here. Here it is, before you reach the side arm. This is important. Look for this angle. Don't worry about joining it onto the glasses yet. It could keep going over there. Who cares? You know, just so long as you get the angle where you want it. Okay, that's it. It doesn't even matter whether it's the correct angle or not at this stage. If you want slightly more of an angle or slightly less of an angle, you're the one who's in charge. You put it there. Okay, but here we go. Now, this ear is very, very important. Okay, look at the base of the ear. Take a straight line across, and we find that the ear is opposite the mouth. So if we go across here, that's nice. There it is. We can now put the base of the ear in. Right, beautiful. There we are. And that comes up to about there. Now let's have a look at this. All right. Well. Comes about just at the bottom of the glasses there, just there. Okay, that's fine. There we are. We now know that we've got the ear set in the right place. Doesn't matter whether he can hear through it at the moment, right? It's only half an ear. Okay, all we're doing is putting the shadow around it now. That's lovely. A little bit of toning in there, not much. There we are. And we've got this lovely curve at the back here. Now, my mate Di right? Because in fact I do know Di very well. Di is a wood carver. He's a lovely bloke, does some beautiful carvings in wood. Di's got a ponytail, right? Quite popular nowadays, as you can see. Right, there we are, that's rather nice, I like that. Once again, right, we're not going to get complacent with this lot here. We're going to look at it, say, yep, that's fine. Yes, there we are. A little bit of shadow in that temporal area there. This is getting beautiful now. I like this. Treat this as a ball. Treat this as a ball. In fact, treat the whole thing as a ball. But it's a series of spheres as we go through. This is a small sphere. This is a sphere. This is a sphere. Right? Think in terms of balance. Right? Have a look at this. Right, we can be a little more positive just on that bit there. That's it. But then whisper it away over there. Just whisper it away. If we want to emphasize a little more, just put a bit more there. Right, now this needs something to sit upon. So what we're looking at here, just at the end of the beard there's a lovely arch line. Right, this is where the flesh tucks in underneath. Lovely. It won't look too much like flesh at the moment. It is not intended to. What we're doing is drawing shadow shapes. Right? In a few minutes we're going to be putting the lights in. We've put the shadows in and we're going to be putting the lights in. So here we go. That's nice. I like that. That's good enough for me. A little bit of invention here, I think. Now this is a lovely thing you can do. Right? Di has got a ponytail. Now one of the nice things about ponytails is that men and ladies use many, many devices for tying them. And way back in the old days, they used to put a bow in their hair. So sometimes it's nice to just invent something. There we are. Just invent that there. Yeah. If you don't like it, you can take it out later on. Now this is lovely, this part. This is something I really do like. This shoulder on the other side here is coming from about there. Now this helps to set the mood for young Di here. I say young Di, I don't know how old he is, but it doesn't really matter, does it? There we are. Now, the other thing that all this relies on is light against dark, dark against light, and so on and so forth, which will all be explained in full as we go through the video. All right, there we are. But the most important thing of all is enjoy what you're doing. It's not supposed to be full of angst and tearing your hair out and all this, that and the other. There are enough things in life that'll do that. There we are. Right, now we want to relate the eye. Here we go. Don't try and draw an anatomical study of the eye. Just look, even if it doesn't look right at first. Yeah? So long as you get everything in the right place, you're going to be not far off. Okay, we can do with lifting that a little bit there. That's fine. Lift that. Yeah, that's fine. You see, it doesn't matter if you make a mistake at first. You can always at this stage get out of it. That's fine. Okay, here we go. Now we just want to be a little inventive here. That's fine. We look across here. We take a straight line across. Yeah, we just see that there's a little bit of interruption there. And there's Di's other eye. All right. Oh, man's a poet. There we are. Right, and now just as a hint, we can just see the offside arm. Okay, that's lovely. We've done the darks, we've done the shadow areas. Now we want to look for the light areas. Okay, we cannot have a drawing composed entirely of shadows. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the shapes now of these lights. We looked for the shapes of the shadows, and now we look for the shape of the lights. But instead of just doing them one direction all the time, move them around a bit, okay? And when it comes to putting them in the hair here, just push that up into the hair before you make your statement. And when I say make a statement, I mean putting in a stroke or a line or something of the like. Now here we go, we've got a little bit of light over there, right, there it is, beautiful, just catching nicely over there. Got a nice bit of light over here in those glasses. Remember I said just now that there was a definite light shape over there in the glasses, but what a nice balance that makes, beautiful. Right? Make sure that you've got the angle of the glasses going this way. It doesn't really matter at this stage. You can move it around all over the place later on. A little bit of light over here, just on the side of that eye. That's fine. Not too much. Right now, down the side here, the bone of the nose here. Lovely. Watch what it does. It comes down there and stops fractionally. Okay, can you see that? And then it comes into a nice ball just here, just like so. Right. You've got a nice piece of light carrying along on the back, just over there, and onto the nostril there. But don't just leave it at that. Look for this triangle. This is lovely. Nose is beautiful just there. That is gorgeous. A little bit now, we can start whittling away at bits that we don't want. Okay? That's nice. Make sure that all these little lights, you find as many as you can, okay? Because the more that you find, the more accurate your portrait becomes, okay? Doesn't matter now if you lose a little bit of definition here. That doesn't matter. Right? You're not trying to produce a photograph. This is the most important thing. In fact, this whole triangle here, you can interpret as a light form, which is rather nice. Okay, here we go. That's enough there. All right, now here. Now, one of the things I would like to stress is try not to fall into the trap of drawing every line and wrinkle on somebody, okay? You're not, as I keep saying, you're not after producing a photograph. We've already got a photograph. That's not what the idea, okay? We don't want to produce a photograph. I'll say it again, we don't want to produce a photograph. At the risk of sounding boring there, I can't stress that enough. Right, okay. Now a little light on there, on the lip. Beautiful. Just bring it round there. Doesn't matter if it looks like a lip or not at the moment. Just so long as it's in the right place. There we are, that's fine. Beautiful. Working nicely now. This is nice. Look across it, yes. Right, you've got a bit of weight there, that's fine. Through here, that's fine. A little bit in the hair there, not much. That's lovely. There we are. Little kick down there. Up we go. Ear, just here. Okay, little light on there. There we are. It's looking rather nice. This is a preparatory drawing, okay, for something much more interesting later on. But this is what we're looking to at the moment. Get this part right and the rest of it starts to become a little easier. Right, now all we need to do now is just to remind ourselves the direction that this is going. We're not slaves to it. Right, that's enough. That's it. There we are. Crisscross it around just to give it a little bit of strength there. You know, it's quite a grizzled beard old Di's got here, you know. There we are. Now, go back. There's nothing to say that you've got to keep to one colour all the time. Now we can get a little bit more dark in there, just to define that lip. Okay, there we are. Oh, that's nice. Drop that down there. That's lovely. In fact, we can take that all the way up to there. That's it. Oh, beautiful. Now it starts to be lovely. A little bit of weight down here as well. Oh, nice. Beautiful. That's it. Now if we start to just put a little bit of our own in it, now we can start to just play. Just play. Oh, this is nice. Whoa, yes. Oh, look Look at that. There's lovely. There you go, Di. That's it. There we are. Yeah, he's looking good. That's nice. I like. Now, if you find, or if you think you've done the nose a little bit too long, you've still got time to change it. Okay, don't panic. That's what most people do. They panic. But the other thing they do is they expect to create a masterpiece every time. There isn't one of us that ever does. Right? We all have an off day now and again. We all find that, oh goodness me, I cannot draw today, or words to that effect. If you think it comes out as mildly as that, it doesn't. But I can't tell you that at the moment. There we are. There we're having a little waffle and a whisper now, but that doesn't matter. That's what we want. There it is. Okay. Doesn't matter if you've got 2 or 3 lines, take your pick. That's the whole idea. Take your pick. Proportions. Okay, now do you remember? We said top of the head, not the hair, top of the head. Okay. Chin here. Okay. Right. Providing the eye level is roughly in between by half, that's what we're looking for. So we need, if we know that that is half, we duplicate that again, and perhaps the chin's a little bit further down there. Okay, good check. Right, nice check. So yes, that's now half, that's now half, and there we are. Okay, so that's nice. We know that. We've done the rest of it. You see, when you're looking down on somebody, the whole thing is foreshortening. Now that's an expression we use when things are less than level in front of you. There's got to be a foreshortening aspect. Okay. Now this is what we're talking about. Normally, the top of the ear is fairly well in line with the top of the eyebrow. And the base of the ear is fairly well in line with the base of the nose, okay? However, we did a straight line across here, didn't we? And we found that the base of the ear was in fact opposite the mouth, right? But what we haven't estimated for is the tilt of the head, right? Through that axis, there's a slight tilt to the head. So in actual fact, the proportion between the top of the eyebrow and the base of the nose actually holds true, right? But to stop it being confusing, what I normally do is I reduce everything to straight lines. Don't forget, it's the photograph you're copying, nothing else, the photograph. So divide that into straight lines, bring it into straight lines, and you find that all of a sudden everything is looking just about right. Okay, don't worry about all these lines here, they can all go. All right, we can just get rid of that if we want to, get rid of that, smooth that out the way, and then if we got too much white there, we can just come back in with a little bit of that, and lo and behold, all those extraneous lines have disappeared. Okay, we can just touch that in there. And this is where it starts to get rather nice, because this is where pastel starts to be very, very tactile. Okay, this is what I like. I love getting my hands into it. So we can say, right, okay, let's get a little bit of weight here. Yeah, this is nice. Okay. We can even cheat a little bit. We can grab a little bit of what we're supposed to have later now. Okay, let's give ourselves a bit of a treat, shall we? There we are. Now, let's give him this lovely, lovely shiny light on his hair. There we are. We're just going to do this just for the sake of it, okay? Just to give it a little reward at this time. So there we are. Now, get your finger. This is the magic finger for it. And just bring it down through there, like that. Isn't that lovely? Okay, there we are. We've got a really nice tone on the hair there. Lovely. And if we want, we can give ourselves another treat. We can go up here. And we can do the same thing up there. Oh, there we are. Oh, why not? That's looking quite nice. Right, okay, pull that round there. Bit of weight there. Now start to look at things in terms of tones and masses. Okay, there we are. Soften that light there. That's it. It's too much. It was too much. We don't want all that. And there you have it. You see, you are in control at every stage. You're the one, nobody else. You're the one who's doing this. Okay, I'm the one who's painting this, nobody else. I don't care what anybody else thinks at the moment. This is all about what I think. It's all about what I want. And painting's one of those rare things in life where you can actually indulge yourself and nobody minds, right? You're expected to do it, so do it, you know. This is an example of artistic license. And the beautiful thing about the artist license is that you've always passed your test. Okay, I think that one's self-explanatory. There we are. Now, with this particular technique, you see, you can start to make it almost a finished drawing. Yeah, you can soften it all out if you want to. I personally, really and truly, wouldn't want to. Not that much anyway. Okay, there we are. It's looking quite nice, isn't it? Yes, John. Right, okay, fine. Now, a little bit of light over there, just to see what we're doing. There we are. Yep, that's nice. I like that. I like that. And I can say that. I like that. Okay, that's what I want. Now, let's get a little creative if we can. Now, a little bit of black here. Right, that's all we're going to use. A little bit down there, right under that shadow. Right, let's get a little bit on there. Nothing much. Don't go overboard. Okay. Right, there we are. That's it. Now you will notice from time to time that when I make a statement, okay, I do a little dot every now and again. I'll pull it along there, and it's almost like a full stop. Well, I don't actually know why I do it, but it's something I got into the habit of doing a long, long time ago. And it's one of those things that you'll find, you'll do little things like that, and they will be peculiar to you, okay? And this is what will make your work the individual piece that it's going to become, okay? That's the most important thing, that you realize that eventually your work will have a recognizable form to it that is unique to you, okay? And I think that's quite important. There we are. We're making some nice statements here now. Good old Di. He's a lovely boy. I like old Di. He's a nice man. There we are. These lovely full stops all the time. There we are. And do you remember we said crisscross, crisscross, like so? This is what I term as creative scribbling. I think it's lovely. I love doing this. There we are. Now, we've got this lovely sweep round here for the moustache. Now, there we are. We've got a nice statement here. That's lovely. Now, this lot back here, don't worry about it. Just sketching, sketching, sketching. That's lovely. A little bit over the top here. Get this going. Now, this is the stage where you need to just speed up a little bit. And the reason we do this is that we don't want it all to be hackneyed, okay? We want a nice free drawing, okay? That's coming beautifully. There we are. A little bit of shade down there, a little bit of shade up there. Look for your shadow areas. Here we go. There we are. Through that way. I'm just going to put the photograph down for a second while I extract a little bit of this black, okay? Because I want to take the wrapper off of this now. There we are. So that I can now use a broad stroke technique without dropping it. Do excuse me. This is something that happens quite frequently. There we go. Now, nice positive little statements. Here we go, lovely. And don't worry about drawing every single hair, it is just not necessary. There we go. So long as we've got this lovely feel of my friend Di here, there we are, excellent. There we are. There's his ponytail. Here's his lovely bow here. That's right, that doesn't matter. Boom, put it in. Could be anything. Right, now, here we go. Let's get this nice feel. There we are, that's lovely. If you happen to swipe the pastel across, it doesn't matter. Just take it out again and play with it. There we are. Now, do get brave. Do get brave with it. That braveness is the one thing that will make your paintings yours. Nobody else's, yours. And that's all you need to achieve. Do you notice with the eye there? We could change it, we can move it around. We don't have to be slaves to what we put down in the first place. It is totally unnecessary. Okay, there we go. That's nice. I like this. Di, I'm going to leave you virtually done there, old chap, because I like that. There we are. How's that for you? Okay, so here we go with just the final little touches. Just beautiful. That's it. And ding on there for a highlight right on the glasses, right on the point of nearest to you. Okay, and a little ding there, lovely. What I'm doing is I'm just fiddling now. I'm just having a look at little bits, okay, that I want to incorporate. There we are. Get that. And always remember that you can't draw a black cat in a black cellar. So if you want to put a light on something and carry it over, you've got to carry it over a dark, otherwise it will not show. Right? This got a little bit too smooth for me. I don't want that, so I'm just going to break it up again. You can do that at any stage. You can play with it, you can do what you like. The differences between the photograph and the drawing are, one, that the drawing is a drawing. It's not trying to be a photograph, but do you know something? I get a far better feeling about this likeness of my friend Di from the drawing than I ever will from the photograph. Sorry, Di, but I like me drawing better than your photograph. There we are. So, when do we decide the portrait's finished? That is a movable feast. Okay? The portrait is finished when you, the artist, say it's finished. Okay? You will know when you start to fuss and fiddle around with it and you get that feeling, hello, I'm going too far. Okay? Before you get that to that point, it's finished. Okay? What we're after is the basic proportions and the likeness. Now, the likeness is one of those things that if you get the basic proportions right, if you put everything in the right place, it will come. Okay? Don't mess around with it. All you've got to do is more and more and more drawings. Leave this one alone, it's finished. I've finished this one, I'm going to leave it alone now. Okay, Nikki, if you can come and sit over here with me, or for me anyway, as I should say, on there, that's lovely. Okay. Now all I want to know is that you're comfortable.
I'm fine,
Comfortable?
yeah, I feel great.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, we can carry on now. Here we go. On this portrait we're doing here, I want to try and keep everything very, very loose. Okay, not that she's a loose woman, you understand, but that we want a nice treatment through here. Okay, nice one. And I think the answer is to get this down as quickly as you possibly can. That's what I'm after. Right, okay. There we go. You'll notice that when all the time I'm doing this, I'm not using my wrist at all. I'm using the whole arm. Do you remember what we said in the last drawing we were doing? Use the whole arm, right? Don't try and use the wrist, because it is just not going to give you what you want. There we are. I want to bring that around there. And this is all about getting everything in the right place. Everything. Okay, now this is very, very nice. Lovely. Get that now. Let's go there. If I concentrate on this, I think we will get a very, very nice portrait. So I'm not going to chatter too much at the moment. I'm going to concentrate on what I'm doing for a little while. But do please take note that my arm is moving all the time. We don't stop. Right? If you're going to stop, move right away from the picture. Don't stop on the picture thus. Okay? If your arm starts to get tired, move right away from the portrait. In other words, step right the way back, which is what I'm going to do right now. Don't worry about anything. I just want to look. There we are. That's fine. Lovely. Okay. Excellent. Angles is what we're looking for now. Angles. Lovely. Okay. Don't try and be too definitive about anything at the moment. We're very, very fortunate in having this young lady this evening. Right, okay. Now what I did there, you may like to know, is I used my arm at full length there and just had a look at where that point there met a little duck in for the chin just there. There we are. Now, oh, I do like this. This is coming on beautifully. So there we are. Now, one of the things that gets a lot of people when they're doing portraits is trying to decide where the side of the face is, right? Just gently drop a line down where you consider it to be. Okay, that's fine. Now, the less positive you are in this area on the off side of the face, the more expressive the whole thing's going to be. Now what we're looking for is shapes. Great stuff. This is lovely. Let's carve out the rest of this portrait from the outside to the inside. Let's go round here. That's lovely. Okay. Now, beautiful, beautiful lines. Lovely. Excellent. Excellent. Nice. Okay, now we're going to bring this around here. Around here. Around here. You see how quickly these marks are made? Beautifully quick. Right, now we can start to just check something else there. There we are, that's lovely. Okay, yep, I like that. I like that as well. Okay. Lovely girl. She's beautiful. A little mother. That's nice. You can get quite carried away, you know, when you're painting people's portraits. I do. And should be. Carried away, that is. There we are. Well, it's been said many times. But right, now then, my girl. Just keep it like that. That is beautiful. Don't be deceived by the eyes. Lots of times you think you see something that in fact you don't. Trust your eye by measuring with your arm. Measure where everything is. If it looks close to the nose, then it is close to the nose. Right? It's only the angle you're at that tells you where everything is. Okay, that's fine. Beautiful lines. If you go a little bit heavy, don't worry at this stage. You can take it out with some white in a little while, because again, this is going to be a tonal drawing. And I do like this. Very, very nice. Okay, now we can start reaffirming here. This is nice. This is nice. Little touches here and there in the right place. Now watch this. This is lovely here. This is almost straight down. Almost straight down. A little shelf underneath the lip there, coming over onto the chin there and down. That's lovely. All right, this I like. Now, okay, enough on the face for a moment. Let's concentrate on the balance of this. Here it is over here. Gorgeous. Right, now then. Don't do too much, but look for this lovely balance of the hair, everything. Now then, you can arm's length, look at this gap in the hair here, this one here. Now trace it across and you'll find that it's not up there at all. In fact, it's down there. And this is the time to know that it's right opposite the bottom of this young lady's throat. There we are. Okay. Perhaps I ought to introduce you to this young lady. Her name is Nikki. Okay. That's it. And don't be too tempted to, put too much in on the hair. But one thing that does look nice is these lovely little extraneous hairs here. Nice and quick, nice and quick. Okay, now what I am going to do on this one, we're going to continue down a little. That's it. Get some of this nice hair swirling around here. Okay. Beautiful. It's got such a lovely feel to it. Right, there we are. That's it. Okay. This is a beautifully classical triangular composition. Okay. Gorgeous. Lovely. Right, now. This is lovely. Inspiring. Now, beautiful. Right, now we're going to be very, very quick now on the lights. Okay, here they come. We've already done this once, we're going to do it again. Right, okay. Gently, gently. Not too much, don't overdo it this time, don't overdo it, just gently. Step back sometimes, have a look, keep looking. Keep looking all the time. This is lovely. If you happen to put a light in the wrong place, take it out again. Don't worry about it. You can remove it just as easily as you put it there. Right, just like that. Right, now that light is just, that's it, beautiful. That's just in the right place. That's just where I wanted it. Put these lights exactly where they are. Don't try and extemporize with those. Right, just put them exactly where you feel that they are. Okay, that's it. Lovely, that'll do nicely. Okay. Right. Vicky, we've got roughly 5 minutes left, okay, for this. Okay, there. This is the time to get really nice and precise when you're putting the lights in. But at the same time, you don't want it to look as though they're laboured over. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Everything fine? Good. Yeah. Excellent. Lovely girl. Beautiful. That's lovely. I'm going to do very, very little more to this. And that's one of the other things that you want to, when you're painting portraits, you need to decide when you have finished your painting. Only you can decide that. Nobody else can do it for you. And most people say one of the hardest things to do is to know when to stop on a painting. Well, that time is invariably just before you feel that if you do one more thing, you'll overdo it, right? When you feel that, trust that feeling, because it's very, very accurate. You can't stress that one enough. Right, okay. Don't want to do any more to that there for a second. This will do nicely here. Don't try and draw every hair, for heaven's sake, you know, it certainly isn't necessary. So, in fact, it's most unnecessary. But just occasionally, a nice little whisper here and there and here. That's lovely. Now then, I just want to check a distance here. Right? Now, when you check a distance like this, always put your arm at arm's length, okay? Right, that's going to there. And that's virtually twice that. There. Excellent. We are right. Okay. Right, now then, I'm just going to just a little touch of this here. Nothing much. There we are. And again, I hope you've observed how little we've done. But by God, it looks such a lot. Such a lot. There we are. I'm not going to use any black on this. As far as I'm concerned, this is done. There we are. Vicky, I hope you like my rendition of you, because I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
God, that was exciting.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good. Now come and have a look at it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did,
Yeah.
thoroughly.
Oh my God, yeah. Looks like my great-grandma Consuela.
Oh, well, there you are then. How's that? Not bad at all. No, I'm pleased with that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You like?
Yeah, it's good. Nice.
About the best one I've done today, I think.
Now, in the final section of this video, we're going to be looking at a full colour portrait. Full colour portraits don't appear out of the ethos. They start just the same way as all the other portraits have done on the video so far, with a tonal drawing. Now, the tonal drawing that I've produced here is of a friend of mine, Ian, and we're going to continue on this to create the full colour portrait. You'll notice that I've applied everything that you've seen so far: light, shade, tone, everything. We've looked at the proportions, we've observed, we've looked and looked again. Then we've started to draw. Once we're happy with the drawing, then we can start the colouring. In the last 2.5 hours or so, we have produced several tonal drawings as a preamble to the final colour portrait that you're going to see. I want to stress that you do not have to consider at this stage even attempting the full colour portrait if you don't feel happy with it. Practice, practice, practice the tonal drawings. That's why most of the video has been taken up with the tonal drawings. You will have the luxury of being able to fast forward, fast reverse, whatever you like, okay? But please don't think that just because I have rocketed off into a full colour portrait that you have to do the same. This is a reference video that you're going to be able to refer to over and over again.
Right, so here we go with what I term as the first flesh colour. And this is a colour, beautifully neutral colour really. It's a red-grey, right? Now, this red-grey is just right as far as I'm concerned. It gives a nice neutral tone. Right? You don't want anything too argumentative at the moment. You don't want anything that is too bold, shall we say. Right? And this is nice. Emphasize the strongest parts and weaken off on the parts that aren't quite so strong. There we are. Nice shape round there. Now, because of the dark tones under the lights here, we're getting half tones, right? And I'll explain that as when I come to the other side here. Now, I've put this red-grey here on top of the white. Now, if we use it very gently over here on top of the brown, okay, that we used earlier on. Incidentally, that brown is a brown called madder brown, okay? And it's a beautiful colour to use, but be very, very careful with it. It's a virulent colour, and it can cause you all sorts of problems if you're not careful. Be careful with it, don't overdo it, but if you do overdo it, don't try and get out of trouble by putting something else over it. Just start again. And that brings me to another point. There's nothing wrong with starting over now and again. If you're not getting what you want out of it, start over, okay? There's no law that says you have got to do this all in one go, right? Now I'm picking out a few half lights here. And as we do, you'll notice that the lightness here is getting stronger and stronger all the time. Because what we did just now, we exaggerated a lot of the lights. So here we go, we're getting these half tones now. And how much nicer this is beginning to look with these little half tones coming in. Here we go. That's looking better. Lovely. Okay, and if you notice, I'm just bringing in these half lights and then quite strongly bringing in these tones down here. Here we go. Now pulling this round. Look at the direction that everything's going in and feel it coming round. Okay, feel it coming round. There we are. That's nice. And you can use this on this red grey on the lips. Doesn't matter at the moment. Now, Nice strong light over here. Beautiful. And let's get the feel that this is coming over like this. Go in the direction that it's going. There. Now, here we go. We're looking deep into Ian's persona. There we are. Ooh. There we are. Coming on beautifully. Now, lovely. All right. All right. That's fine. Coming around there. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Getting more and more and more like him all the time now. Lovely. Good stuff. Right. Now, have you noticed that what I'm doing is I'm looking and placing very carefully. Right? Just look and place. Don't squabble with it. Okay? Let it do its job. There we are. Nice positive stroke. Boom. Straight down. Lovely. Now come round like that. And we're beginning now to tonally draw what's going on with a little bit of colour. Okay. Strong, strong angle just there. Beautiful. There we are. That's lovely. And if you're not sure, you can always cover a little bit. Just drag it straight through into the bit that you're not sure about. Okay, here we go. Lovely half down here. And notice that cuts almost straight down there. Beautiful. That's it. If you feel that we're not quite right here, I'm not saying we are, I'm not saying we're not. Okay, but if you feel you're not, okay, you can cover up. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Boom, like that. But don't cover it up to such an extent that it's not there if you are right, because I feel that I was in that particular case. There we are. Well, half lights in here. There we are. We're not cheating. We know where they are. That's it. Excellent. Right. Now, get that bit of light coming down the nose there. Beautiful. Okay. Come round to me a little bit. That's lovely. That's right. Do be careful of that. You do get people, they wander off a little bit. It's not their fault. They can't help it. We can't lock them up for it. You know, it's just one of those things that happens. But you've got to be aware of it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Now, there we go. Now, the next colour I'm going to use is a red. Okay, no I'm not. I beg your pardon. No I'm not. I'm going to strengthen a few of these shadows in the eye sockets now. Okay, let's strengthen these up a little bit. Oh, I like that. Yeah, there's no reason why we can't do this now. Lovely. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Excellent. A little bit redder. This is madder brown. This is what we started off with. Okay. Now we have mixed it a little bit now. That's nice. Oh, that's lovely. That's coming across beautifully. All right. All right. Now we start with another colour. What we're going to do is just going to use a little bit of Van Dyke brown now, just to strengthen up against the madder there. Okay. That's nice. And get that going there. That's lovely. Okay. Excellent. Just want to, a little bit of madder there, Van Dyke in there, just to soften that black. Right? We don't want to keep that black. We just want to soften that off now. That's it. But what a lovely base that gives now for the next colour that's going to go on in a minute. And here we go. We're strengthening up now. We're getting these lovely, lovely, strong shadows here. That's it. Do be careful to check where your shadows are. This one's coming directly under this one here. Okay, so do check that. It's most important. Look to see how far out and at what angle that one goes. That's coming through there. Now we can drop this one back here and look at that lovely, lovely staggered shape we've got there. Beautiful. And now that is really, really beginning to pull this likeness of our friend Ian here into a really solid drawing. There we go. I'm building this up in layers. Okay, I'm bringing layer over layer, but at the same time I'm being very, very careful to observe, right, everything that's going on. Now, because this is a video about portrait painting in particular, I'm concentrating on them at the moment on the face only, right? I haven't put the neck in, I haven't put the shoulders in, I haven't even attempted that at the moment. It's not what I want to do at the moment. However, don't forget it, because it's coming, believe you me. It is. You can't just do heads and get away with it. It doesn't work. So there we are. We're building up these layers now. We're looking now for lights again, half tones, shades. Perhaps I ought to explain what a half tone is, did I? I think lots of people hear about half tones and they think, oh, what's a half tone? You know, I know what a tone is in music, I know what a tone is in drawing, but what's a half tone? Well, it's between the light, it's the tone between the light and the shade. Right? It's a halfway tone between the two. Okay, that's a half tone. It sounds daft, but you know, lots of people don't understand it, and it's nice if we get it. So it's coming on nicely now. Now, all these tones here are very, very harsh at the moment. So we're going to soften these now. I'm going to bring some poppy red into this flesh tone here. I'm going to get it up there as well, and it's going to come down here. Lovely, nice poppy red. Okay, just glaze over everything. Just glaze it over. Don't worry about anything, just glaze over and make sure that you've got this in there, because this is what starts to warm everything. Now, a little bit more down the side of the nose there. Okay, a little bit more underneath here. Okay, that's rather nice. Yep, we've got a little half tone coming down there. You can add a little bit more light red there, just to bring that alive. It's livening up now. Right. Now, when we get to this stage, this is where we can start to use the finger every now and again. Now, don't smooth it, right? Not like this. Okay, we don't want that. All we want is just to touch these things in every now and again. And if you get a little smudge somewhere, it doesn't matter, okay? But what we do want to do is knit these strokes together now, okay? Just knitting nicely, pulling this way, bringing that tone over, that one, and it's pushing in, pushing out. That's it, lovely. Now, drag these lights sometimes, get hold of that and just kick it across there. That's it. You can still see the shape there, but it does stop everything looking static and plastic. You know, that's not what we want. We want a nice feel of this. And for a while, you'll feel that you're losing the likeness a little bit. It doesn't matter. You'll get it back. Okay? In fact, sometimes, all of a sudden, you'll do something you think, that's done it. That's got what I want. Oh, yes. And that's the thing that most artists call serendipity, the lucky accident. And that's what we all thrive on. We thrive upon the lucky accident. There. Now, all we're doing is pushing this around now, ready for the next flesh tone. But before we put another flesh tone on, we want to make sure that we've got the modelling absolutely right. So let's bring a little bit of that. Now, what I did, I grabbed a bit from there, just put it on my finger and dragged it down there, because Ian has got this rather nice hollow part just under the cheekbone there, which is rather nice. We want to get the feel of that going round there. Yep. That's it. We're breaking this up now just nicely. Okay. Right. Now, back to the original flesh tone. We want a little bit of light there. We can see that there's a nice bit of light there. Oh yeah, round there. Touch. Okay. A little bit of tone in for the ear here. Don't pay too much attention to the ears. Okay, it's not necessary. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of background around here later on, and we're going to use that to depict the ear a little bit stronger. However, we're going to put a little bit of shadow around here, a little bit there, making sure that we get the right shadows for the ear there. That's fine, that's lovely. And just as a reminder, okay, I can just drop a little bit of shadow under there. Now this is not in the picture, this is off the picture. There we are. That's it. Now this is where it starts to form itself out of the paper. We're looking okay, right? Now, again, we can start to just emphasize some parts here. There we are, just emphasize little half lights that you can see. Just keep checking and rechecking, because it's not going to be long now before we start to just put the other couple of flesh tones in. We're not going into an absolutely full-blooded society portrait. You're not ready for that yet by any manner of means. However, we will approach that in the next video. We will be going that far. There. Now you can see what we're doing. We're just reiterating now. It's all reiteration. It's all looking again. Draw again. There we are. Nice. Now this is beginning to get nice and chunky. That's what we want. That's it. Don't. Ah, lovely. Don't forget the original drawing, okay? I'm just going to remind myself that there is an eyebrow in here, okay? Just going to remind myself of that. We were in danger of losing it a little bit. Right? Don't do that. That's it. That's nice. It's there again. There's the other eyebrow still up there. Nobody's taken it anywhere. That's nice. Getting there. Now, having done that, there's one colour that I want to get hold of now, when I can find it. Just to carry on now, the portrait, as far as I'm concerned, was getting a little bit dead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring in some colour to, again, build what we've done, build on what we've done, reiterate what we've done, right? Pull the drawing together. Okay, now here we go. It's always a good idea to ask your sitter what colour eyes they've got, okay? The reason I say that is because it's not always possible, as in this case, not always possible to actually see the colour of the eyes. There's so much dark and light around that we don't know. So, Ian, what colour eyes do you have? Brown. So, isn't that a nice coincidence, because that's what we started doing them. And that's nice, isn't it? Good. Right. Now, again, as I've said before, don't get too greedy. Just don't get too greedy. Get what you can when you can. Here we are now. Now, we're going to, as you know, we went into eyes, right? We did the eyes, we did the nose, we did the mouth, and this is the eyes here in detail, right? We're showing the kind of detail that we've talked about already. The one piece of information that we must not forget is that shadow cast by the eyelid. Now, it might seem daft to think about that when most of the eye is in shadow anyway, but trust me, do it, because even if it's not seen, you know it's there. Right? If you get into the habit of that, you'll know it's there. Now we're just going to pick up those little half lights in the eye. There we are. We're not going to put that strong highlight in. I don't want to, all right? But what I want to do is just that little highlight through the eye there. That's nice. That's looking good. That's not too bad. Okay. Now, we're going to liven this up now with a little bit of blue in the eye sockets here. Okay. Don't go too balmy, but look at that mixed with those lovely browns, those lovely soft reddish browns, this lovely dark blue coming way into the eye sockets now. We're now beginning to play with those shadows that we had earlier on. Look at the strength of this now, and we can take that up and use that to draw the eye. Now as we come down, here we go. Oh, beauty. That's it. That's what we want. It looks very, very dark, but look how dramatic this is becoming. Lovely stuff. Now we're not going to take an awful lot more time on this, okay, because if you can get to a stage where you can get a likeness like this, okay, in roughly the time that I've taken, right, you're not doing too badly at all. All right, so here we go. It's all coming together now. It's amazing how quickly it does happen all of a sudden. Okay, and you don't need that many colours now to achieve the end of this portrait. Alright, I'm going to use a few more local colours, but nothing much now, because let's face it, how much more do you really need to do? Okay, this is what you need to ask yourself sometimes. How far do I need to go? This is a question I find people ask so many times. Just when do I have to stop? When do I have to stop? And the answer to that is when you're finished. Okay, well, how do I know when I'm finished? You know when you're finished when you can't reasonably do anymore, or that you don't want to do anymore, and that's always a personal thing. Okay, so here we go. We're going through this beautifully now. This is a lovely dark, dark, dark shade of blue. That's what we're putting in. In the absence of light, in the shadows, plenty of blue. That's what I'm doing. But mixed with the other colours, it starts to have lovely meaning to it. Here we go. Just a little bit there, a little bit here. Beautiful. Now, that's it. Right. A little strength there. That's it. That's it. There we are. Again, look to see what we've got, what we want. There we are. That's it. Now, that dealt with that. We've got a little bit of blue there. Now we want a bit more red here. Just put a bit in there, bring that round. This is the red area through here. Okay, even through over into here, because it all makes a difference. Here we go. Couple more minutes now for the colour. That's all we want. Now, a little bit of poppy red here into the lips. Nothing much, because we don't want to make him look as if he's got a load of makeup on. Here we go. Now, don't be too fussy. Don't be too precise. You know, just blend it off with the other colours around it. That's it. Remember that shadow. Remember, you put it in there. Don't take it out. Okay. Just bring that little bit of blue again into. There we are. I can use a little bit of blue now into here. Lovely. Okay, just a fraction. There we are. That's lovely. If you feel that those other blues, a little bit dark, I can put that in there. Oh, that's nice, that's coming beautifully now. Here we go, into the shadows again, just a touch, not much, there we are. We're just pulling that through now, there we are. A little slightly lighter touch of blue now, just so that it's not quite so stark, but leave these up here, they're beautiful. That's lovely. But just kiss it now over into the light tones there. That's giving us a nice light there. That's lovely. Okay, right. We have now got not very long. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just prior now to putting the warm lights in, I'm just going to touch in with a beautiful soft blue on top of those reds. Lovely. Now look how that cools that down. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Never try and put warm on warm. Okay. Always try to bring a nice cool colour over on your warms. Right, that is bringing that in nicely. I'm not going to fuss. I'm putting them in rather quickly with beautiful touch of blue just next to that very, very warm red there. Lovely cool light right on the end there. Beautiful. Lovely. Next to that. Isn't that lovely? Look how those gorgeous lights are coming in now. Beautiful. That's it. There we are. Bring that over there a little more, I think. Yes, drop that angle. Lovely, lovely. A little bit of light there, not much. That's it. And start to feel this now. Start to feel it coming in. There we are. Now we can feel that angle round there. If it goes over into the dark tones, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There we are. A little bit there. Oh, super. It's coming on beautifully. And it's not going to be for long now before we're going to leave this alone. Okay, because it's virtually got everything that I want. Leave this side, don't bother with that side now, okay? We don't need to. If we do want to put any light tones in here, shades of purpley blue, there we are, that's okay. On the highlights, use those, there we are. If you go overboard a bit, you can always touch off with a little bit of the first flesh colour. That's nice. Oh, that's coming beautifully. Half tones, cool half tones in here. Beautiful. Bordering on the warm, but that's nice. Excellent. Right, this is fairly advanced colour forms that we're using. We're not using what you would normally feel are flesh tones. All right, now, here we go now. Oh, yes. Now we can play. Now we can play. That's it. We've earned the right to start playing now. Here we go. Exercise your right to put these lights in boldly. Right. No split infinitives. Here we go. To boldly go when no light has gone before. Beautiful. Who's a Star Trek man? Right. Put these lights in nice and boldly. I'm not telling you that this is the right way to do a portrait. What I'm telling you is this is my way of doing a portrait. Each and every portrait painter has a different method of doing things, right? There's no such thing, in my opinion, as the self-taught artist. We are all products of those artists that have influenced us over the years, the artists that we've loved and admired for many years. Even artists that we haven't liked have all influenced us one way or another, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the not so good. But each one has claimed a place in our education and our appreciation of what we call art, and that's my way of seeing things. I do not say that it is the only way. Now, I'm just about to finish off now. I'm going to put just a few half tones again in here. Couple, not much, but I'm losing a few edges now. I don't want these edges too strong. I just want to lose some of those. I want to soften bits now. I just want to make these statements pay. There we are. Nice one. That's lovely. That's lovely. And after this, I've just got a couple of more little lights to put in, and that's all we want there. We've mixed those tones now beautifully. Here they go. There's a lovely side tone now to that eye. And have you noticed I've used a little bit of this in there, and it works beautifully. There we are, a little bit of that. This was a burnt sienna, by the way. Burnt sienna. Who would have ever thought it? There we are. There we are. That's it. Now, we don't want to go too far up in key round here. So here we go. We're just going to touch off now. Nothing much. Touch that off. Right. We're now bringing in these lovely strong lights against the darks. Beautiful. Now, look at the places that are nearest to you. These are the ones that are going to carry the nearest lights. Beautiful. That gives a lovely, strong light. There we are. There. And now right on the tip there. Beautiful. But carry it over. Don't just stick it in one place. Lovely. Nice light here. Yes, this is what we want. There we are. Nice light coming down here as well. Over the top of the lip here. Right? But drag a little bit down into the lip. That's it there. Over onto there. Beautiful. Nice strong light there. Lovely. Good. Good. Okay. A little bit of light down there. Excellent. There we are. Excellent. That's enough. That's enough. Down here. And as we come down here, we can just leave a little touch of blue there. Bring this around. Touch there. There. Oh, beautiful. That's it. These are all different pressures that we're putting in now. Pressures using the strengths and the lights, and that's beautiful. That's all I want, just these lovely little tiny touches of light. Beautiful. There we are. That's it. 2 or 3 minutes now. There we are. 1. I'll be able to count down the seconds in a minute. Now, all we're going to do now, just very, very quickly, we don't need anything over there, but I do want just a little tiny touch more light up in that eye there. Gorgeous. That's lovely. All right. And the final highlights are going to be 1 just there. Little tiny touch of white I'm using now for the first time in this since we started putting the colour on. I'm not going to use an awful lot. I just want to catch that bit of light there, just in there. Beautiful. There it is. Lovely. Nice bit of light there. That's it. Just blowing him a kiss there. That's lovely. If you don't like that bit, take it out, touch it around. Lovely. Very, very spontaneous drawing, this. Spontaneous. Spontaneity. That is the name of the game. Right. Right, here we go. A little bit there, a little bit in there. Lovely. Touch, 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 touch. Now, all we need to do now is just suggest this hair. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to put a few dark values in here. Nothing much, nothing much. We're going to bring a little bit down over there, and don't forget to join the hair to the head. Most important, we don't want it to look as though it's been chucked in as an afterthought. There we are. All I'm doing here is just putting the base shapes. When I say the base, I mean the underneath of the hair. The underneath of the hairs. Not every single hair, just the underneath. There we are. This is looking fine. That's looking fine. I just want to cut in there beautifully. Doesn't matter. This isn't the hair. This is just a bit of shadow in the background. Now we're beginning. This is it. Right? Just the underneath of the hair. Nothing much. That's all we want. A bit of tone there. Do you remember those tones that we put in the first place? Here they are now working for us. It's amazing how when we start to put the hair in, just a few little lights here now, the parts that are catching the light, there we are. Ian's got very dark hair, so I'm using a few blues in here, nothing much, just to pick up the light. There we are. That's it. And sometimes treat a whole block of light, just like that. Oh, beautiful. That's lovely. 2 seconds now. 2 seconds. We're just going to get a little bit of light going in here. A little bit more. That's it. That's it. And now, finally, at last, we come to the rest of it. Let's just pop the neck in down here. This is what we want to look for now. Look for the proportion of neck to the base of the ear. Come down there. Look for this. Around here, that's nice. Drop that round there. That's coming on nicely now. Okay, a little bit of tone in there. You don't need too much of all this. It's not necessary. Drop that one through there, but then alter the angle. Alter the angle. Just put that one over there. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. Never ever put one shoulder directly opposite the other one. That's it. That's nice. Send that off over there. There we are. Right. Get excited with it now. This is what you want. Get excited. Feel it. There we are. That's lovely. Nice bit of shadow around there. Bring that down. Bring that down. All these lovely half tones now are working for you. There we are. A bit of light down there. And you could carry on and on and on and on. And never ever improve on what you've got now. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to just slam in a couple of bits of light in the background here, right, just like that. Oh, I like that. And against there, bring it over that bit, because those darks that I had there just now are acting next to the light there. Now we can bring these lovely bits of light. Beautiful stuff. Look how that lightens that up beautifully. Get excited with it. Play with it. Blush a little bit of that light onto there. Blush a little bit through there. That's lovely. Little touch just on the back there to pick up that light. Touch it on there. Little touch in there. Little touch in the hair there. And for my money, that is as nice a portrait as we're going to get. There we go. Thank you.